Hey, what's up everybody, how's it going? I'm The Framed, and welcome back to the next episode of my Diablo 2 lore structure Let's Play with the Amazon. Alright, so in the last episode, we did make our way into the Spider Forest, and made our way to the Spider Cavern, which is where Khalim's Eye, I believe, is located. And so we went and found that. We'll go in my stash here and find it. Whoop, right there, Khalim's Eye. And that was the first part of one of the first quests. Look at my quest log here that we had to take on. And we got a couple other quests here that we need to do. But I did two things, I guess. At the end of the last episode, I did kind of give you guys a question on whether or not you wanted me to map out the rest of the Spider Forest and just go straight into the next area, or map out or do all that on screen. I decided to do that off screen, and so now here in today's episode we're going to be starting out going into the next area, but I'll get more into that a little bit later. One other thing, or one other comment that I had on the last video was that it'd be nice if I gave you all a little bit more of a background into the quests that we're going to be going through here in the third act, and that's perfectly fine. I'm perfectly happy to do that for you guys. So look at my quest log just really quick here. One thing that I really haven't been doing is listening to the stuff Decker Kane has been saying. And if you are doing that, which you should, if you're playing through for the first time, or if you just want to know, more about the Diablo lore or whatever, listen to Decker Kane. He's got some really good things to say. But if you didn't, you can just click this this box right here, and he'll re-say everything he just said, or that he said previously, and he gives a pretty well explanation on everything you need to do here in this act. But I'm going to try and just say it all as concisely as I can, in a nutshell, of course. But essentially, in the third act here, our main goal is to kill Mephisto. And in order to do that, we have to collect a variety of items, which are the relics, Khalim's relics, which are essentially his body parts, and as well as the flail. And we need these things, and we need to transmute them in our Haraja cube to crush the compelling orb, which is used to lock the entrance to where Mephisto is located. So, that was probably not the best explanation of what we need to do, but it is essentially what we need to do. We need to go through this act and go into various dungeons and other places and find the relics of Khalim, which are his eye, the one that we already have, his brain, and his heart. We need to find those, as well as the flail, transmute those in our cube, and create Khalim's will, which is a flail that we'll be using to crush the compelling orb. And yeah, it's essentially what we need to do. And we're going to continue on with that quest here in today's episode. And let's just go ahead and do that. We're going to, where do we want to go? We want to go here. So, like I said, I did map out this area a little bit more. So I mapped out the rest of the Spider Forest. So I'll just be going straight into the next area, which in this game, or this playthrough's case, is the Great Marsh. So it doesn't usually happen this way. At least for me, I find the Flayer Jungle more often second than I do the Great Marsh. But it's the way this act is set up. It's just very, very random. You never know which area you're going to come across first, which is, I guess, part of the fun of Diablo. But in my personal opinion, this is probably one of my least favorite acts, just because it is so random, and it's, I don't know, that just kind of bothers me a little bit. But that's just me. You don't have to have the same feelings that I do about it. But anyways, what we're going to be doing here in today's episode is essentially just going through and getting through the Great March, because there isn't anything to really do in the Great March. There is, really you just have to get through it and get to the Flayer Jungle. There are no items to get here in the Great March at all. It's just an extra area that for whatever reason they decided to put into the game. If you guys have a better explanation for that, please feel free to put that in the comment section. I'd actually like to know. But and from what I can tell, it's essentially just an extra area that you just have to get through. So that's what we're going to be doing here in today's episode. We're going to be mapping it out, getting through this area hopefully fairly quickly, finding the enough room, finding the Flayer Jungle, and maybe if we have enough time, we'll do the quests that is needed to be done there in that section or that area. But we'll get to that later, I guess, if and when we get to that. Alright, so looks like I want to go a little bit north here. If I were to continue going left, I would have run into an area that I've already kind of mapped out, and I want to avoid doing that. I don't want to backtrack at all. It's not necessarily backtracking, but I can tell that I don't need to go that way. At least I'm pretty sure I don't need to go that way, so I'm just not going to. I'm going to continue going this way. I have a little bit better feeling that this is the direction I need to go to get to the next area. So we're going to head in that direction. Of course, I could be completely wrong because, you know, these areas are just so random that you just never really know where they're going to lead. Take down these guys. I know I say this a lot, but didn't want to pick that up. The shaman or whatever these guys are, they do heal or revive fallen enemies, so you do want to take them down pretty quick, just like the shaman from the first act. But make sure to do that. Take those guys down. And we want to pick up that jewel, pick up the money, pick up the grand charm. All the good items. Go ahead and pick that up. One comment that I did get in a previous episode that or a couple comments that I got in a previous episode that I'll just go over. Since this is probably going to be a little bit more of a boring episode just because we're not really doing a whole lot other than mapping it out, I'll go over a few questions that some viewers had. One is, you know, whether or not I was or I am going to be changing my mercenary aura, and the answer is no. I currently have the defensive aura on my mercenary, and I actually kind of like that aura, not because I personally need that, but because my mercenary needs that. So since I am such a glass cannon, it's really beneficial for me to have tanks around me that will take aggro from the various monsters, since I personally cannot take damage really at all. If I do get hit, I get chunked pretty hard, and since I am going for a glass cannon build, I have 0 points into vitality. I have put, you know, exactly 0 points in my vitality stat. Everything's pretty much gone into dexterity and strength for the most part. A little bit into strength, but mostly into dexterity. So I do have the defensive aura on my mercenary, just because it'll make my mercenary a little bit more tanky, as well as make my Valkyrie a little bit more tanky, and those make things a lot easier for me, since I personally can't take damage, but they will be taking the damage for me, so I want them to be as tanky as possible. So yeah, I got the defensive aura on my mercenary. A little bit more beneficial. A good second choice would be the one that gives what's it called? It gives me more attack rating. I forget what that one's called, but it gives me more attack rating. Blessed Aim. There it is. Haha. I figured it out. But a good alternative would be Blessed Aim, just because that gives you more attack rating, which, you know, heightens your likelihood of hitting your target, which is also pretty beneficial for a more glass, well, I don't know if glass cannon build, but a build that depends more on my damage output. So my ability to stay alive is a little bit more dependent on my offense than it is my defense. It's kind of the whole, you know, a good defense, the best defense is a good offense kind of mentality. And so if I am able to hit things a little bit more often, the more likely it'll be that I will survive because I'll be taking things down, or I'll be killing enemies a lot more easily. So yeah, it's a good alternative, the Blessed Aim Aura, but for right now I prefer the... Ooh, another rune. I prefer the defensive aura since I am playing on Players 8 as well. Monsters are a lot stronger, so again, if I do get hit, I get chunked pretty hard. So I'm going to avoid that as much as possible. One other question that was asked is whether or not I prefer gems over runes. And the simple answer is I prefer runes a little bit better, mainly because they have a little bit higher damage potential. So I could actually link a website, or two websites, I guess, in the description that just goes over the damage of perfect gems and the various runes that give off the same damage type. So if I were to get a perfect topaz, I think that gives 1 to 40 damage output, whereas let's see, what, an Ort rune? I think Ort is lightning damage, or is that Thule? I don't remember, but whichever... Ooh, the waypoint, nice. But whichever one, it's either Ort or Thule, I can't remember. Whichever rune gives, or does lightning damage, I think it does 1 to 50 damage. So, it's only 10 more damage, not a whole lot, but it does have a little bit higher damage potential. So, in that case, I do like runes just a little bit better. And if we look at my mercenary here, I actually have 2 Rals and an Ort. Okay, so it's an Ort rune, not Thule. But as you can see, I have 2 Ral runes and an Ort rune in my mercenaries polearm here, or bandestock, whatever you want to call it. I could have put gems in it, but at this point in the game, it's really hard to get perfect gems, or it's a little bit harder. You have to farm them a little bit more, whereas finding 2 Rals and 3 more Rals to make an Ort rune really isn't all that difficult. You just need to do some Countess runs. It really didn't take me that long to find those. So at this point in the game, the runes is just a little bit easier to do. I am overburdened. So we'll get rid of that. Actually, know what we're going to do? We're actually going to pick that right back up and use it. And put that topaz there, head back to town, get stuff identified. Yes. There we go. And that's really not that big of a deal. Don't convert that. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Alright, so what we're going to do now is head over to my stash. And it looks like we can do some transmuting. So we'll go ahead and do that. Take that stuff out. Put these in here. And put one more there. And we got one of those. Keep that. And looks like we can't do anything with that, but we can transmute these guys. There we go. Perfect. Alright, put these guys back into there. And I might as well put these guys here. Alright, so let's head back out there. There we go. But yeah, as I was saying, I guess, runes are a little bit stronger and they're a little bit easier to come across here in at least this part of the game. Later on, I need more arrows. I should have grabbed those while I was back here. Oh well, head back to town. I actually don't remember who has arrows. I think it's this person. If it's not, it's the other guy. Oh no, I'm right. That's good. So we'll put those there. Boom. Got more arrows. Head back out there. But yeah, like I was saying, in my opinion, runes are a little bit stronger at this point in the game. Later on, you can find gems a little bit easier, but still, I find runes to be just a little bit stronger. But it's still good to keep runes around, or not runes, keep gems around, because you can use them for crafting. And that's not really something I'm going to go over too much at this point in the game, because you can't really do a whole lot of that right now. Once you get into nightmare difficulty, it's a little bit more beneficial to do some crafting, because you can craft some pretty decent items that can give you some really good mods, like life on hit and mana on hit, which can be really useful, especially for the character that I'm playing, because having mana and life on hit is pretty nice, especially when using an ability like multiple shot that uses a lot of mana and hits multiple targets. But I'm not going to go over that too much right now. If you just were to Google Diablo 2 Horizon Cube crafting or whatever, you will find a webpage that will go over a lot of that stuff for you. And I don't have a lot of that information off the top of my head, so I'm not going to even try. But yeah, go ahead and do that if you want. And kind of surprised that we haven't made our way out of the Great Marsh just yet, but we should be finding our way to the Flayer Jungle here soonish, I would assume. And once we get out of the, or once we get into the Flayer dungeon, or Flayer Jungle, we'll be trying to find the Flayer dungeon, which will have another one of Kaleem's artifacts. And there is one other quest that we need to complete, or we at least should complete, while we are in the Flayer Jungle, which is taking care of the pygmy village and fighting the gibbon. And I'm not going to go over that right now, because I don't really want to. But once we get to that point in the game, I will kind of go over that quest a little bit more. Kill these guys here really quick. A lot of money on the ground. Pick all this up. Let's see. Good enough. What's a stag bow? Can't carry anymore. Yeah. Why do I have this? That has 7 to 12. That might actually... Oh, that's a Amazon specific weapon, isn't it? It's got 3 sockets in it. That's pretty nice. But... Ooh, and +1 to bow and crossbow skills. That's actually a pretty good bow, but I can't really use it because I need a bow with 2 sockets to make a Zephyr. So even though this is actually pretty strong, or it's a little bit stronger bow, I think, maybe, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and stick with what I have, just because it does have 2 sockets in it. If I do find one of those with 2 sockets in it, maybe I'll think about remaking my Zephyr rune. But until then, we're just gonna hold out, pick up the money and the various items, pick up the money here, and pick up one of these guys or 2 of these guys. And can I... Okay, so it looks like I can't go anywhere else in this area, so looks like I took a wrong turn somewhere. I'm assuming I have to go up the right hand side of this area now. They'll probably jut off here, over here, if you're kind of looking on my mini map. So let's just head back this way, head across the little river here, take down these guys. There we go. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find our way. Looks like my mercenary actually did get stuck over there, along with my Valkyrie. It's kind of annoying. Pick up that topaz. Boom. Ooh, small charm. I just picked up a lot of items I don't care about. Go away. Alright, so we're going to just head up this right hand side. Maybe we will find our way here after a while. Looks like, ooh, we got some champion pack, or a champion pack here. I'm going to back off a little bit, get some distance, let my mercenary and Valkyrie aggro these guys, tank for me. Can't carry anymore. I'm gonna have to go back to town here soonish. Let's just do that right now. Head back to town. Get everything identified. Alright, so we don't care about that. Ooh, that has a little bit of fire damage. Maybe I'll keep that. A couple items I don't really care about. Put that there. Gives me a little bit more damage. Since I am not going for resistances at all, if you look at my resistances, they're kind of crap. I'm not really trying to get high resistances since this is a glass cannon build. I don't really need defense. Going purely for offense. So, you know, that charm did give me a little bit more offensive power. 1 to 2 fire damage. Not really that much, but, you know, a little bit is a little bit. Looks like we did find the Flayer Jungle here, everybody, which is good. Exactly what I wanted to find. And I think I'm actually going to end the episode here. This went decently long, or at least long enough, and I got through the area that I was trying to get through. So I will be ending things here. In the next episode, I will take on the Flayer Jungle here, and hopefully go down into the Flayer Jungle, or at least take care of the Pygmy Village Gibbon quest. But until then, if you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, advice, please put those in the comment section. I love answering your questions. They're great. If you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing here with my Diablo 2 lore structured Let's Play with the Amazon, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd also appreciate it if you go over to my Facebook page and my Twitch page and like to follow me over there. But until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you all next time.